Have you ever walked away from someone feeling heavy and emotionally drained, even though nothing specific was said? Have you ever asked yourself, why am I still holding on to a relationship that clearly no longer feels right? And most importantly, are you ready to face the hard truth that some relationships are meant to be left behind, no matter how deep the bond? Human relationships can be our greatest joy or our deepest source of pain. The people around you shape your thoughts, habits, and even your identity. We're taught to believe some relationships like family or childhood friends are sacred and unbreakable. But here's the cold truth: not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some connections slowly erode your well-being. Some leave you feeling small, exhausted, or even resentful. And some become outright toxic, even dangerous for your mental and emotional health. This video goes deep into 11 unmistakable signs that it's time to cut ties, even if it means letting go of people you once held close. But let's be clear, this isn't about being cold-hearted or ruthless. It's about self-respect, peace, and living authentically. As we go through each sign, you might find yourself thinking of certain people in your life, and that's okay. It's part of learning what you truly deserve and how to protect your inner peace. So buckle up, this isn't going to be another just be kind talk. This is real, honest insight, and it could be the wake-up call you've been needing. Sign 1. They constantly disrespect your boundaries. Personal boundaries are invisible lines that protect your peace of mind. They're not selfish, they're an act of self-respect. And yet, some people act as if your boundaries don't exist. Maybe you've asked a family member not to bring up a certain topic, but they do it every time. Or you've made your work-life balance clear, but a friend keeps guilt-tripping you to ignore your priorities. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries after you've clearly communicated them, that's a sign they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, they don't deserve a place in your life. Sign 2. They drain your energy. You know the type: someone who exhausts you after even a short interaction. Drama, complaints, negativity, they feed on it. Ask yourself, do I feel lighter or heavier after spending time with them? If it's the latter, it might be time to take a step back. Life is already challenging enough. You shouldn't have to carry someone else's emotional baggage every day. And it's okay to create distance from people who turn every conversation into their personal therapy session. Sign 3. They use you as an emotional punching bag. Some people only show up to unload. They lash out when they're stressed or angry and then excuse it by saying, "I'm just having a bad day." Here's the problem: you're not their therapist. You're not their emotional punching bag. If someone constantly dumps their emotions on you without accountability, that's a huge red flag. You deserve relationships where you feel respected, not emotionally attacked. We've explored some of the obvious red flags, but some signs are more subtle, masked as care, duty, or love. If you're not careful, you could stay trapped for years. Sign 4. They manipulate you with guilt or obligation. Ever heard this? After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me? If that line feels familiar, you might be dealing with emotional manipulation. Toxic people use guilt as a weapon, especially when you're trying to set boundaries or gain independence. It could be a parent reminding you of all their sacrifices, or a friend bringing up past favors like receipts. But true relationships aren't based on keeping score. They're based on mutual respect, not emotional debt. Sign 5. They don't celebrate your wins. One of life's simple joys is sharing your victories with people who genuinely care. But if they respond with jealousy or indifference, that's a problem. If someone minimizes your success, changes the subject, or makes you feel guilty for winning, they're not cheering for you. True supporters celebrate you. They don't sulk in the shadows. Sign 6. They encourage toxic behaviors. Real friends push you to grow. Toxic people, even without knowing it, often encourage self-destructs. It could be a friend urging you to drink more, even though you're trying to cut back, or a family member normalizing gossip, grudges, or unhealthy habits. Even if they're unaware, the damage is real. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, not drag you down. Sign 7. They're only around when they need something. Do they only call when they need a favor? Are they nowhere to be found when you're struggling? if the relationship is always one-sided, it's time to reevaluate. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. You deserve more than to be someone's convenience. Sign 8. They undermine your confidence. Healthy connections lift you up. Toxic ones tear you down. Pay attention to subtle digs, passive-aggressive remarks, or comments that make you second-guess yourself. If someone's words consistently make you feel small, they don't have your best interests at heart. Sign 9. They refuse to take accountability. Either call someone out on hurtful behavior, only for them to blame you. Toxic people rarely say, "I was wrong." They deflect, deny, and twist the story. And in the end, you're the one left apologizing for bringing it up. After all the emotional manipulation and silent damage, there's one more boundary that, once crossed, makes the relationship irreparable. Refusal to take accountability. Sign 10. They never take responsibility in any healthy relationship. Accountability is non-negotiable. But toxic individuals dodge responsibility at every turn. They gaslight, shift blame, or play the victim. You express hurt, they say you're overreacting. You try to have an honest conversation, they twist your words. Suddenly, you're the one apologizing for confronting their behavior. Without accountability, there is no trust. And without trust, the relationship collapses. Sign 11. They sabotage your growth. Some people feel threatened by your evolution. Your progress reminds them of their own stagnation. So instead of cheering for you, they cast doubt. Are you sure you can handle that new job? You've been so stressed. Or worse, they guilt you. You're really leaving after everything we've been through. But real love supports your growth even if it forces a new dynamic. True supporters want to see you thrive even if it means you outgrow them. Sign 12. Your gut says something isn't right. Don't ignore your intuition. If someone makes you feel constantly anxious, uneasy, or emotionally drained, your body is sending you a warning. Sometimes logic can't explain what your subconscious already knows. Trust your instincts, they're often more accurate than your mind. So what can you do? Recognizing the signs is step 1. Taking action is step 2. Here's how to begin. Be clear and honest. You don't need to be cruel, but you must be direct. State how you feel and what you've decided. Set boundaries. Decide what kind of contact, if any, you're willing to have going forward and stick to it. Focus on your why. You're not doing this to hurt them. You're doing this to protect your peace, growth, and future. Ending a relationship, especially with a loved one, is painful. But sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for them is to walk away. As you reflect on these 11 signs, ask yourself honestly, who truly deserves a place in your life? The goal isn't perfection, it's peace. And that's worth everything. If you've ever had to walk away to protect your peace, share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.